Coming to you live from the Rinks and Hauppauge, you're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Ryan Brannigan, our cameraman, producer Wally Mitchell. The final of two-game set here on this rainy Sunday evening is a varsity level matchup between the 5th and 6th place teams in the standings. They have the same record going in. Unless there's a tie, they will have different records coming out of it. Northport, Huntington, and KPC. It is the Tigers of Northport, Huntington, 4-3, designated the home team tonight. They had a 3-game winning streak, ended at the hands of SCHSHL, losing 5-2 on last Sunday, November the 2nd. KPC, meanwhile, they're riding high off a 9-0 shutout victory to Pat Med that happened on Halloween night. Called by yours truly, rocking the cone costume. So they've been out of commission for a little while here. Have been KPC. Prior to that, tough 1-goal loss to St. A's, 4-3 in regulation, and a 4-0 defeat at the hands of Smithtown Hauppauge. Prior to that, 3-win streak, all in big fashion, following an opening night. Big loss to SCHSHL, 11-3. In terms of players to keep an eye on, there's quite a few from both of these teams, but one stands out really above the rest, and that's JT Caruso, the LI goal. Has 9 goals, 5 assists, 14 points in his 7 appearances so far this season. It is JT Caruso, and good goaltending for Northport Huntington. They'll rely on both of their goaltenders, but primarily Bowden Rudloff, who has made 6 starts in the SCHSHL varsity level season year thus far, rocking a 3.46 goals against average. On the other side of the ice, KPC. Definitely more of a group effort up and down the lineup. Connor Coco, the captain, leading the way in terms of points, tied with defenseman Max Ledzinski. Ledzinski 10 points, Coco 10 points. Each of them with 6 games played. Ciafrone with 9 in his 7 games played. And replacing goaltender Krauthammer has been a dual effort of Tyler Burke and Jackson Murray, each of them with 4 games played to start the year. Burke with the 2.66 GAA, Murray the 3.63. Murray has gotten, I think, more of the difficult of those matchups to this point. Haberman, Borzumato, Mezzazalma, Corey Jacobs on defense, Brown, Argilla, Delio. It's a really deep roster. Matter of fact, everyone listed on the roster for KPC has at least registered 1 point. That includes Jack Volpe, who's only played in 3 games to this point. See if we have our starting goaltenders confirmed. We do. It will be Tyler Burke getting the start in goal tonight for KPC. Rudloff for Northport Huntington. And big implications in the standings for the results of this game. Northport Huntington 4-3, I mentioned to start. They do have an overtime loss to Northport Huntington that does have them 1 point ahead of KPC. 9 points versus 8 points. Northport Huntington, they might have lost 5-2 to SCHSHL. SCHSHL fell to East Islip. If Northport Huntington get the win tonight, they will be within 1 point of SCHSHL with a game in hand on the black and gold, or silver and gold, I should say. For KPC, a chance to surpass Northport Huntington in the standings, as we are set and ready to rock here on the North Rink. 15 minutes up on the board. First period underway. Northport, Huntington, and KPC. Collecting for the Tigers is Colin Jackson. He has it ahead for JT Caruso. Wrist shot, long range, and a glove save made by Burke. A little less than 30 seconds in before our first shot on goal. Relatively easy stop there for Burke. Caruso. Now Jackson walking down the line, centers one. Couple of sticks getting in the way of that one. Jackson again to Caruso. Couldn't quite pull the trigger. Good start here for the Tigers. Now along the far point and getting it across. That was Karpowicz trying to get it over to Jackson. Karpowicz flings it ahead. Now Volpe. So Volpe back in the lineup here. Again, I mentioned he only played in 3 games. This will be his 4th. Had it touch on there. Now Jackson with it. Over the blue line. Jackson by himself. Throws one toward Burke. Deflected it over the net. Mezazalma hands back, and now once more it is Volpe. High flip for Volpe. Bounces down, can be collected by Sposato. Sposato ahead for Sherwood. Coughed up, and now it's Ebley. Tapped on by Jacobs. Sposato for the Tigers to the line, not out, held in by Jacobs. Here's Coco. He's checked off the puck. Trying to will it out of the zone was Aiden Shear, and now it's picked up by Oramaner. Oramaner, watched by Ebley, gets shoved into the boards by said Ebley, comes free, and a backhander toward Burke is denied. Another chance to flex over the net. And punched out of the zone, all the way down, way out to get it is Rudloff. Plays it to Sposato. 2:15 into the game. No score, KPC. Northport, Huntington, Jacobs battling Shear. Coco there as well, and then springs ahead, Honingman. Good poke check, though, from Sposato. Broke up the Honingman rush. Played in behind by Buonacore. On for JT Caruso. Caruso through the neutral zone. 3-on-2 over the blue. Caruso, a tricky wrister, is snagged by Burke. Very difficult to do what Caruso just did there, where all your momentum and weight is shifting left, and then you were able to shoot it back to your right. Got the goalie leaning that direction as well. Good save there made by Burke. He's looked sharp here early. And now I believe we'll have our first call of the game, a holding penalty assessed. So 2 minutes, 57 seconds into the action. We have our first call, and it's Mealy who goes off. So power play for the Tigers of Northport Huntington. Their first of the game. They average .4 a game, and one-timer denied by Burke. What a save. Not able to clear the zone, KPC, and a great shot originating, a one-time shot there from Owen Karpowicz. Tigers send in on goal. Steered away by Burke. Jacobs to it. Will fire it around, and it gets by the defender and all the way down. That was Walter. Walter will pick it up in his own end and nearly put that one on goal to Rudloff, preventing it from doing so. Karpowicz over the red line, over the blue line into the zone. Karpowicz plays it back. Played across. That was Christman. Pops up into the air, down. Scramble on it to the right of Burke. KPC gained possession off the glass and all the way down. Rudloff stops it before it hits the goal line and plays it to his captain. It's Caruso, walks, Caruso, nice move. Tries to beat Burke through the 5-hole, it's sealed off. Karpowicz, circling, Karpowicz, still with it. Karpowicz, shot and a save made by Burke as he worked it all the way around the horn to the far circle. Burke tracking him all the way through. Makes the stop. Oh, and Karpowicz, this is just his second game of the year that he is starting for Northport Huntington. Honingman to Coco. Coco trying to return it. Pardon me, that's Ciafrone trying to return it to Honingman. So far, so good on the penalty kill. Just 20 seconds left on the power play for the Tigers as Volpe settles it down and rips it out of the zone. Off the stick of Sposato, onto the stick of goaltender Rudloff. Rudloff finds Chrisman. Chrisman on for Buonocore. Buonocore hands back. Shot eventually gets through. Save made. Burke rebound is cleared out of harm's way. Patrick Schmidt had the shot that started it all. And now Sposato trying to get around Volpe. Volpe prevails, and good outlet pass. Springs ahead Abrams, who throws it on goal from long range, denied by Rudloff. Chrisman, pardon me, Oramaner plays it in. Here's Ledzinski chipping it ahead to Ciafrone, and clean breakout, 2-on-2 from the red line in here for KPC. Ciafrone trying to thread the needle back door to Abrams. Intercepted and cleared by Karpowicz. Karpowicz back to Schmidt. Schmidt back on it. Wrist shot partially blocked and sent out of the zone. Gazzardo. Now Ledzinski. Past the stick of Abrams will go down and being and icing. Power play's been gone for some time now. My apologies. So icing call against KPC. Or a good start here early on for Northport Huntington. They get the power play chance and have had the better of the zone play to this point. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Varsity action, Northport Huntington and Kings Park Commack, KPC. Jacobs for Kovacs. Delio trying to help out. Taken back the other way by the Tigers. Backhand shot, save made. Rebound, Burke. It stayed out. Great chance by Jose Walter. Held in on the far blue by Gazzardo. Gazzardo to Caruso. Caruso to himself. Takes the shot, save made by Burke, and he'll get the rebound too before it comes free and played on by Jacobs. Goes all the way down, and another icing on KPC. And right now, the only reason the game's still scoreless is KPC netminder Tyler Burke. He's been outstanding here to start and very busy. So face off to the right of the aforementioned Knights goaltender. Worked onto the back, and that's Chrisman. Out in front, deflects wide. Oramaner. Down low of shot, right pad save made off the stick of Jackson. Ledzinski eventually finds its way to Coco. KPC breakout. Coco trying to deke around, and another good defensive play made by, this time, Sposato. It's been a great effort thus far by Northport Huntington, not really allowing KPC to set up in the offensive zone. We'll have another chance here. It's Captain Coco, and he elects to just dump it in past the outstretched stick of Rudloff, and right out of the zone it goes. We're still scoreless, though, here. 7:20 left in the first period. Rudloff, plenty of time, works it over to Sposato. Jackson, D to Sposato, return to Jackson. Colin Jackson Deflected ahead by Sherwood. And Scott will get there. That's Jack Scott, defenseman. Here's Borzumato. He's going to try to flip it to himself. Past Buonocore. Centering pass intercepted by Caruso. Was hoping for Honigman. Caruso, though, turned it over. Borzumato back on it in the near corner. Honigman returned to Borzumato off the side of the net and hopped over the stick of Argilla. Now Caruso breaks out, 2-on-1 developing. Caruso shoots. No, it didn't go. Bar down and out. That close to opening the scoring was JT Caruso. Off the high glass, Gazzardo won't have enough for icing. Jacobs picks it up, turns it over, but it bounced off the stick of Sherwood. Now Sherwood gets taken down. It'll be a penalty, another one on KPC. Their second trip to the box. While they get that sorted, let's take another look at this Caruso shot. As it's a 2-on-1, really a 3-on-1 if they hustled from the red line in, and Caruso just gonna let this thing rip. Ding! And you hardly see it there. That's how fast it went. Well, power play Northport Huntington, second of the game. And they're 0 for 1. Ebley off for a hook. Caruso trying to organize the power play unit. They win the draw. Caruso. Across, Karpowicz. Wrist shot fought off by Burke and off the netting, out of play. Owen Karpowicz put everything he had into that one. And Burke got it with the blocker. So we'll do it again to the left of Burke. Another face-off win in the O-zone by Northport Huntington. Karpowicz. Back to Caruso. Caruso across. Jackson. Jackson to Karpowicz. Has to take it on the backhand. Puts it on his forehand. Circling out of Coco. Karpowicz down low. Now Caruso shot just wide. Good setup. Took Caruso maybe an extra half second to get that shot off than he would have wanted. Caruso across. Karpowicz. Karpowicz near circle. Looking for a lane. Doesn't have one. Now back up top to Jackson. Colin Jackson. Caruso to Jackson. Great zone time here for Northport Huntington. Across. Caruso fanned on the shot. Had a good look there. Tried a backhand in. Ends up being a turnover. Here comes Coco. He's by himself. Trying to kill some time. Went off a body. Fired across. Just 44 seconds left on a power play for Northport Huntington. Their second of the game. Most of it, of this power play, that is, spent in the offensive zone. They'll try to get back there, and they will, with Karpowicz. Try to drag it past Jacobs. Jacobs had other plans, and he rifles it down the ice. Rudloff. For Sposato. Sposato misfires on the pass. Right onto Jacobs, and Jacobs sends it right back in deep in the Tigers zone. 4:15 left in a fast-moving first period. No score between KPC and Northport Huntington. JT Caruso trying to change that. He came oh so close between the legs. Caruso out in front in the crease. It wouldn't go. To the blue line. Sposato wide with the shot. Gazzardo on the far wall. Down the wall. Over the stick of Shear. Scott to Brown. Nick Brown. His pass, try to get it to Delio, taken away by the Tigers. The penalty has expired, the Ebley minor. Here's Jacobs. Wrister off of a spinning Delio and wide. So dangerous looks, but 0 for 2 on the power play tonight for Northport Huntington. Turned over. Shear. Good keep there by Scott. He pokes it to keep it in once more. Delio, backhander. Sticked into the corner by Rudloff. Back to the blue line. Scott try to go D-to-D to Jacobs. Comes out of the zone, and Jacobs delicately flips it back in. Gazzardo. Sposato wraps around the wall, picked up by Schmidt. Patrick Schmidt dropped it to no one, and it's sent out by Ledzinski. He was trying to get Honigman. And now it's Oramaner. Turned over, in comes Delio. Delio couldn't quite pull the trigger. Out in front again, Rudloff the save. Bowden Rudloff, his first real tests of the game, he passes in flying colors. The positioning there forcing Delio to the outside, and then right out in front, quick turnaround. What a save by the Tiger Tendy. A penalty was the result of that last sequence. Get you the call in just a moment, but KPC go to their first power play of the evening. It's Gazzardo off for a hook. So following their best scoring chance of the game, a power play. And unable to hold in was Mezzazalma. He'll go across to Volpe. With the zebra stripe tape job, Volpe moves in. Down the wall, Volpe. Good pass, shot! Goes just wide. Now Ledzinski. Ciafrone. Coughed it up. Here's Caruso, short-handed. He's got jets. Caruso getting back Ciafrone. Great back-checking play after he turned the puck over. Now you're extra motivated when that happens, and Ciafrone denied a potential breakaway chance for Caruso there. And here's Ledzinski. Down the right wing wall, gets taken down, and another penalty upcoming on Northport Huntington, which means a 5-on-3 for KPC for 1 minute and 4 seconds. Tripping call assessed to Karpowicz. And that good opportunity to score turned to a great opportunity to score for KPC. Ledzinski scores! Right on cue. KPC opened the scoring on the power play. 1-0. Max Ledzinski. Not sure how it got through Rudloff, but it did. Ledzinski from Argilla and Mealy. And for Max Ledzinski, his 6th of the year, is 11th point. Puts the Knights in front of the Tigers, and they remain on the power play for now another 1 minute and 40. Aiden Shear has it for the Tigers, and he sends in. So Karpowicz remains in the box, returning onto the ice Gazzardo. And it has to be somewhat disappointing to play as well as you have to this point in Northport Huntington. Trail by 1, but that's the nature of the beast when you take a penalty and then another. Stopped by Rudloff. Back toward Rudloff, and off the glass, takes a weird bounce right onto the stick of Ebley. Ebley laying it down low, hoping for Mealy. Instead, Tigers get there, and they'll clear it out. Banked on for Mealy. Mealy entering the zone. Banks it down low. Sposato there. Sposato and Jacobs do battle beneath the goal line, and now once more Mealy gonna will it to the front of the net. Jacobs and Sposato still jousting at each other. Finally, Sposato gets his stick back. I believe it was, I don't know, quite the joust behind the goal line. Breakout pass nearly had Sherwood shorthanded send in, and that's it for the first period. So 1 goal to show. scored by KPC. And into the first intermission, they lead it. One to nothing. Apologies for the 8 there. There's no.
Okay, that's what I was coming to tell you.
Looked like a 0 on my screen, and in fact was an 8. My apologies. 1-0 KPC over Northport Huntington at the end of 1. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. 16 seconds of power play time carrying over as we start period number 2 in just a minute. Welcome back to the Rinks and Hop Hog. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. 1-0 KPC over Northport Huntington. A goal scored on a 5-on-3 power play by Max Ledzinski. And 16 more seconds of that power play carry over, but shorthanded it is Caruso, and he's checked at the last minute by Jacobs before he could pull the trigger on a great move to the front of the net by JT Caruso. 5 more seconds now on the Karpowicz minor, and now he's over the box and onto the bench. Sincere apologies for the 8 up on the scoreboard as well. It really did look like a 0 to me, and I didn't notice it. I apologize. Here's Ciafrone. Gathered in by Caruso, not out of the zone, held in by Ledzinski. Ledzinski down the far wall. Mezuzalma centers, glove save made off the redirect by Rudloff. And what could be his best save to this point in the game. See, they're going to work it quickly. There's the tip. It's low to high and right to left for Rudloff. He's got to deal with both, and he makes the save. Well positioned. Makes another there. Flung across by Mealy. Now Brown with it. Brown out in front. Knocked away, and the loose puck. Brown hunts it down. Sends it around. Mealy first on it in the near corner. Rudloff plays it over to Sherwood, who exits the zone. Right back in it goes. Rudloff here for Gazzardo. Gazzardo around for Chrisman. Chrisman at Caruso. Caruso shot. Smothered by Tyler Burke. And what has quickly become somewhat of a goaltending duel. Just the one goal in the first 15, and both goaltenders looking rather sharp here tonight. .38 left here in the second period. Is a face-off to the right of Burke. One that shot deflected, rebound, they score! Tapped home in front, and that looked to be Jordan Oramaner, who ties the game at 1. One more look at it. It's off the face-off. Gazzardo takes the shot. And here's the shot here from Gazzardo toward the mess in front. Goes off somebody, and Johnny on the spot is Jordan Oramaner. And Oramaner scores the equalizing goal. His third of the year. Meanwhile, Abrams, a rocket of a shot, fought off by Rudloff. Now Schmidt, a drive, blocker save made, rebound steered to safety by Ebley. Karpowicz. And there's Abrams all over him. Karpowicz trying to escape. Abrams does. Finds the goal scorer, Romano. Worked it back across to Schmidt. Schmidt, the shot blocker, save made. Rebound, Karpowicz scores! It's 2-1 Tigers! Another rebound goal off a great neutral zone sequence. There's the initial shot save, and watch the play made here by Karpowicz. Great poise to bring the puck around the goaltender Burke and backhand it into the open net. Karpowicz from Schmidt. And if I'm not mistaken, that is Karpowicz's first goal of the year. It is. First point as well. So 2 quick Tiger goals put them in front by 1. They came into the second trailing by 1, and less than 3 minutes in, they have the lead. Batted out of midair, trying to march on forward with it was Walter. High flip, tracked down by Buonocore. Buonocore, dangerous pass toward the middle of the ice. Honeyman got a stick on it, but back come Northport. Huntington, and a glove save made off the shot by Walter. Jacobs up the left wing side, or pardon me, that's Coco up the left wing side. And now Ledzinski, tipped in by Honeyman, on for Buonocore. Buonocore. Another pass toward the middle of the ice, intercepted this time by Coco. Coco spins it back to the blue line for Ledzinski. Ledzinski, a drive and a save made by Rudloff, and the rebound cleared out by Spasato. Goes all the way down, and actually will be an icing against the Tigers. So for the moment, a good response for KPC as they find themselves down a goal here early going second period. Patrick Schmidt, who assisted on the goal, by the way, is his 5th point of the year. Ciafrone taking the draw. Puck just barely escaped the zone before Ebley tapped it back in, so KPC must touch up. Here's Karpowicz. Gets around Ciafrone. Nudged ahead, on for Chrisman. Chrisman helped out actually by Mezzalma there, and Chrisman to the blue line. Jackson waits. Jackson back to Chrisman. Keeps the cycle going. Spun behind the KPC net, and now can be skated free by Ciafrone. This pass, though, looking for Pascal, intercepted and fired in by Karpowicz. Shear battling in the corner. Puck squirts free and trying to play it ahead to himself, but Jackson does a great job to get back. The play on Mezzalma. Here's Karpowicz. Karpowicz trying to get around Ebley. He does. Puck stalls in the near corner. 2-on-3 battle favoring KPC. Northport Huntington nearly get a touch on it, though. It was Karpowicz. Eventually the Knights get it out of the zone. Only so far as Jackson, who plays it ahead for Shear. Aiden Shear, shot. Stick to the corner by Burke. Karpowicz leaves it for Caruso. Caruso holds. Area pass nearly hitting Buonocore, almost like a quarterback leading a receiver there on this football Sunday. And going down to the ice, Buonocore, they'll say it's on his own accord as that pass in front hit the stick of Rudloff. Was trying to get it to Brown. Was Kovacs. Pardon me, Mealy. Meanwhile, other way, Northport Huntington had numbers for a minute. Stabbed at, backhanded up in the air. Volpe tracked it down. Still loose out in front. And Volpe emerges with the puck. Volpe, hounded by Caruso from behind, pins it into the near corner. Caruso and Volpe still going after it. Volpe finds himself with the puck out of the corner, trying to get that seam pass. It hit a stick before it did find its way to Ledzinski. Ledzinski forced to just put it right back down the wall, but good forecheck here for KPC. Borzumato's pass out in front. Rudloff missed it, and the rebound goes just wide as Brown had a stab at it. Finally, Tigers clear. Ledzinski fires it right back in. Rudloff stops it. Buonocore rips it around, and Ledzinski to play it at the red line. To Borzumato, and Borzumato sends it down low. Stopped by Rudloff. Gazzardo. Intercepted, or at least deflected there by Kovacs. Steered away from him. Caruso. Into the neutral zone, rejected by Jacobs. Nevertheless, it gets over to Oramaner. He's got one of the two Tiger goals here tonight. Chrisman smushed up against the far boards. To the blue line, a wrister hits the blocker of Burke and into the near side. Boards where the battle continues. Playing on, here's Oramaner. Ledzinski prevails. Ledzinski trying to will it out of the zone. Glove down by Delio, and Delio up for Borzumato. Finally, the puck able to advance. This feels like trench warfare out there right now. Without both of these teams, can't have the puck for more than a few seconds. A chance deflection. Delio off the turnover was left in front of Rudloff. Made the save. Then a huge reverse hit dished out by Delio, and here come the haymakers. Haymakers in the form of shoving, that is. No punches have been thrown. The clock is stopped at 7:01. We'll throw some seconds back on it. So the huge reverse hit dished out, the legality of which I believe the officials, which their opinion is the only one that matters, say that it was legal. But then after that, I don't know. Obviously, Northport Huntington didn't like it. I imagine this will be offsetting penalties. I really, you know, if you wanted, if the initial penalty was against Delio, I would understand that Northport Huntington get a power play out of it, but I don't believe that reverse hit. It looked bad. You don't see it very often, but it's not an illegal play. So since that was an initial penalty. Well, matter of fact, looks like the additional minor penalty is going to get tacked on to Northport Huntington. It'll be a 2-minute power play for KPC. Let's see what the system gives me in terms of official stuff here. As it stands, a power play for KPC. Try to clear this up for you officially as it comes through my feed here. It's a roughing minor for Oramaner of Northport Huntington is the only thing I see so far. All right, so it looked like a mistake. So the fans were reacting to a 4 minutes up on the board for one of the two players in the box. That's what I was commenting on as well. And then it was even at 2 minutes each, and now we see it go back to being a power play for KPC. It's just Oromana for a rough. That's all I got. Shear down the wall. So power play KPC. They scored on a 5-on-3. They didn't score on the ensuing 5-on-4 power play. So 1 for 2 tonight. Here's Ledzinski. Back to Volpe. Volpe to Honigman. Honigman shot, save made by Rudloff. And the rebound in the corner, the near corner. Coco trying to battle Karpowicz for possession. Coco does have it. Spinning away from Karpowicz, who's draped on him like a drape to a window. Everyone says white on rice. How about a drape to a window, huh? Honigman had it knifed away by Shear, and in comes Aiden Shear. Shear, 1v3. Still it is Shear, backhanded on goal, and a stick save made by Burke. Ahead now for Coco. Coco going to create some space, makes the shot on, and a save made by Rudloff. Honigman, nifty move in the corner, tries to come out front. He's rejected. To the blue line, Ledzinski to Volpe. Volpe walks, fires over the net. Honigman with Coco down in front. Ledzinski to Volpe. Volpe loads up, fires off the iron. Volpe again, had it right back. Ledzinski. KPC humming, wrister over the top and all the way down and out of the zone. Burke, 10 seconds on the minor. Oh, nearly turned over to Aiden Shear. That would have been disastrous for Tyler Burke. Instead, he survives. A shot on for Rudloff. He makes the stop. And we're back to even strength. 1 for 3 tonight on the power play are KPC. Now JT Caruso weaves his way in. Far circle denied by Burke. Delio also got a rough. Now, I think I have the whole thing here. So a roughing for Oromana. He just got 2. So 2 roughs for Oromana. One of them served by Schmidt. And a rough for Delio. And that's how you get the power play we just saw, which was unsuccessful for KPC. Deflection, save, Burke. Through a sea of bodies. The well-positioned Burke able to make the stop. Rudloff, look out. Turns it over. Here's Jacobs. Now Pascal. Back to Jacobs, fighting off players in front. Couldn't pull the trigger. Caruso hustling after it. Also hustling after it, Ciafrone to get back. Good back check there from Ciafrone. Pascal has it smashed away by Gazzardo. Loose puck. Foot race, Ebley, and Ebley is able to fight off the incoming pressure provided by Jose Walter. Walter back on it. Walter on the back end, back to Caruso. Caruso weaving, dicing. Caruso back with it. Plenty of time, finds the open man. Across, no one home. To the blue line, Gazzardo. Gazzardo, saucer too hot to handle. There for Colin Jackson, who is pinching in from his defensive post. Here's Crispin. Crispin knocked on his tush there by Jacobs despite having the height advantage. And a hand pass is called, and Burke still able to make the save there despite that puck. If it gets across, doesn't count. A 2-1 your score. Northport Huntington holding on to the 1-goal lead they established here in the second period. It has 3 minutes and 22 seconds left on it. 4-3 Northport Huntington. 4-2-1 Northport Huntington. 4-3 KPC. Borzumato down the left wing wall for Brown. Brown up front for Borzumato. Never got to him. Kept in, nice play by Mealy. Mealy trying to go back to Brown and ushered out of the zone by the Tigers. Flipped near the KPC bench, stays in play. Brown left it behind him. Tries to track back to it. Bortumato! Shot never came, and he took a hit from Sposato as he charged to the front of the net. Now a 2-on-2 from the red line in. Pass for Shear, gets by Shear. He'll chase after it. Shear and Scott, Jack Scott, come together behind the net. Off a skate, turned over. Shear in the slot. Wrister deflected off the stick of Volpe and out of play. .224 or 2:20. Let's throw 4 seconds back on. There's really 2:24 left here in the second period. Shot. Never got through. Caruso, Ledzinski, nifty poke check. It's available out in front, and a good defensive play by Delio to clear it from out front. Lead pass for Abrams. Oromaner gets over there. Oromaner spinning out of Kovacs and Abrams. Wheels around his own net. Finds Caruso. Caruso looks back, sees how many guys he's got with him. Caruso dekes. Jacobs stays with him. Jacobs, what a defensive play made by the KPC right defenseman as he works it all the way out of the zone for Abrams. Abrams unable to get around Buonocore. Kovacs, Delio, Jacobs all together. Jacobs knocked down. Offside, I think, is the call. No penalty here, just an offside. .136 remain here in the second period. 2-1 your score. Ryan Brownigan, Wally Mitchell on the camera, our producer. Whole rest of the team, we send our loving and best regards to our producer, Rowan Laddick. As that puck gets by Karpowicz. Honigman. Karpowicz. Turned over Argilla. Wrist shot, glove save made by Rudloff. It looked like he wanted to play it. He did not. Who's going to break through? The game still in striking distance for KPC. They only trail a goal. They have an offensive zone faceoff. Northport Huntington would love to get an insurance marker. And the final minute here of the second period. Defensive zone draw win. Caruso gets it ahead for Walter. Walter trying to go back across to Caruso. Behind him, and now Coco with Oromaner streaking back. Coco to Honigman. Honigman, a drive save, rebound. Loose, and Rudloff has it. Honigman, Drew Argilla, Ledzinski all involved on that last sequence, and Rudloff standing tall. .40 seconds left. Faceoff coming to the left of Rudloff, who's going to put his helmet back on. Just had a nice little swig of water, and he's ready to go. Faceoff one, deflecting shot, and sealed off by Rudloff as that puck changed direction, originating off the stick of Ebley. So Ciafrone in to take the draw. He'll take the draw from the Northport Huntington captain, Caruso. Puck found its way through the front of that. Good stick lift by Sposato. Controlled, though, by KPC in the corner on goal. And right pad save made by Rudloff. Here's Aiden Shear. Shear on the right wing side. Around the net. Wraparound. Doesn't go. Still with it. Oromaner. Spasato. Time winding down. 5 seconds to go in the period. Ciafrone recollects. 2 seconds and 1. And that'll do it for the second period. It's been a game that's reminiscent of a chess match. 2-1. Tigers leading KPC at the end of 2. Right here on LI Sports Network. We shall return for the third period in just a moment. Stay with us. 2-1 Northport Huntington over KPC on LI Sports Network. Welcome back here to the Rinks and Hop Hog. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Third period is on its way. Northport Huntington, KPC. It is the Tigers of Northport Huntington that have the 1-goal advantage heading into the final 15 minutes. They scored both of the goals there in the second period, and as it were stand right now, the game winner to Owen Karpowicz. A big hit there, taken by Jackson. He's up. Mealy looked as though he dished out the hit. Puck out of the zone. Here's Oromaner. Has a goal in the game. Shot save made by Burke. Work down low for Caruso. Caruso centering pass. Handled by Walter. Walter trying to pitch it right back out in front, and Volpe there to clear out. And in comes Volpe. Volpe barreling down the left wing side. Volpe picks it up. Mealy there as well. Borzumato unable to get a stick on it. In comes Northport Huntington. 2-1-2 over the blue. Now some players getting back. It's Karpowicz on the tape of Caruso. Shot save made, and Volpe just going to put it right back into his goaltender's equipment for the whistle. And that's what we see happen here. Is a little over a minute gone by in the third. Get our first whistle. KPC face off in their own zone. Chance backhand shot, save made. Sherwood with a good look on the backhand. Here's Delio springing up the right wing side. Delio shouldered into Gazzardo. And Tigers clear out. Won't be an icing. Played by Burke on for Ebley. Ebley to Delio. Delio trying to put his back into it. Fires across, hit a couple of sticks, and a good back-checking play here by Sherwood. Prevents Jacobs from getting a shot through. Jacobs, though, has it back, walks, fires, save made. Rudloff, and he'll jump on the rebound. And, whoa, the puck entered the back of the net after the whistle went. Oh, boy. No goal, says the official on the ice. I was convinced he had it as well. It appeared like he had put his glove on top of it and it had come free. I mean, I looked down for maybe a quarter of a second and just stopped my clock here. And in that time, it seemed the puck entered the zone, and And now a timeout appears to have been called. No, a penalty. No, a penalty to Delio, I believe, for a slash. So a power play for the Tigers. Oh, it's an unsportsmanlike conduct on Delio. Pardon, not a slash. I might have taken a year of ASL, but I'm still learning my signs. Out on the ice, Karpowicz, across, backdoor, doesn't go. Caruso was there, but so was the stick of Burke, and he made the save. Early chance here for the Tigers on the power play. They've yet to score with the man advantage. Oromon trying to change that. Back to Karpowicz. Karpowicz, a drive, and a glove save made by Burke. Karpowicz back on it on the corner, in the corner. Karpowicz wheeling. Try to go down the wall to Jackson, intercepted by Argilla, and now Huntington tangled up in his skates, unable to ballerina twirl around Karpowicz, who sends across to Buonocore. Buonocore knifed at by Ebley. Has it back, though, still in the offensive zone. He'll walk to the middle. He'll load up, fire. Blocker save made. Rebound save. Burke. What a save. Caruso. They're not out of the woods yet, or KPC. Caruso. One-timer from Karpowicz, and he'll want that one back. As he put 100% into the shot and only ended up with a 10% result. So 51 seconds remain on the minor penalty for unsportsmanlike to Delio. Face-off won by KPC. They can't clear on the first try. He'll try it again here along the near wall. Held in at the near point by Jackson a couple of times. He still has it kept in. Wrist shot from Buonocore blocked by Ciafrone. Sent down the wall. Walter picks it up for the Tigers. Walter out in front, a sneaky pass. And I don't even think Crispin was expecting it. Cleared down now by KPC. Off the stick of Crispin. Here comes Ciafrone shorthanded to Pascal. No! Initially blocked, and then another save made by Rudloff with the stick. Cross-ice pass from Walter to Crispin. Crispin, that's intercepted right from the bench by Mezazalma, and they're going to say too many men on the ice. Awful break for KPC as Mezazalma stepped onto the ice. The puck was right there for him. And the KPC fans and coaches alike don't seem to be satisfied with the call. I understand that's 100%. That is just pure unluck. I think I made up a word. Unlucky, very unfortunate for the Knights. As soon as they kill one off, they must go back shorthanded. Onto the back, Sposato. D-to-D pass, Gazzardo. Wrist shot, save made, blocker with Oromon set up in front now. Caruso shielded off on that far side. Karpowicz stepping through around the net. Karpowicz. Oromon. Karpowicz and Ledzinski jousting, and now a penalty called on Northport Huntington. And that gets some cheers to the KPC fans to the right of myself. And Karpowicz to the box. Not sure if it's a mistake. Interference, the call on Mezazalma can't be. Who did he interfere with? That has to be too many players on the ice. Karpowicz is off for interference. That seemed to be the case. So 4-on-4 for the rest of this minute and 28 seconds, then a very short power play for the Tigers. Caruso through to Oromon. And that puck glanced off the netting, which is why we see a stoppage here. Oh, a minute 19 more seconds of 4-on-4 hockey. Or a Monner. Pascal that intercept. Ciafrone with Pascal. Ciafrone near circle. Ciafrone to himself behind the net. Out to Ledzinski. Lets one rip, and a glove save made by Rudloff. With 10 minutes on the dot left here in the third period, a one-goal game between Northport, Huntington, and KPC, in which both goaltenders have shined bright here tonight. Face off to the left of one of those two goaltenders, that being Bowden Rudloff. Here's Jacobs. Jacobs twirling down the near wall and centered one that's taken back over by Northport Huntington. NH send it back the other way. Settled down by Walter. Walter pinned against the boards. Comes away with the puck somehow. Jose Walter trying to split between Ebley and Jacobs. Left the puck behind it. Had it knocked away from him, really. Shear on the forecheck. Shear and Walter. And now Shear retreats, leaving two KPC players, and they emerge with the puck. 7 more seconds before KPC get that abbreviated power play. 2 seconds and 1. And the Knights to their power play is a save made by Rudloff. 20 seconds on the power play here for KPC. They're 1 for 3 tonight. The goal coming by way of 5-on-3. Ebley. Shot, blocker save made by Rudloff. And sent down the ice by the Tigers. 3 seconds, 2 and 1, and the abbreviated KPC power play comes to an end. Picked up here. Buonacore try to center one. It's knocked away by Borzumato. Outlet pass. Here is Mealy. Mealy with Brown. Mealy backhands it toward Rudloff. It went off his stick into his padding, and that's where he'll cover up. Now 8:18 left here in the third period. Northport Huntington leading KPC 2-1. Good time to remind you to check us out on social media at LI Sports Network for all the updates you could ever want and need from the Suffolk County High School Hockey League, story updates as well from our main man Gabe to Curry, as well as from all the college teams we cover across the New York greater area, bleeding into Connecticut now with New Haven. Here is Coco through the neutral zone into the O zone, knifed away. Nice play there by Spasato. Argilla hands back to Ledzinski. Off the stick of Karpowicz and on for Coco. Now Argilla gain the zone, try to send it horizontally. It's taken away by Oramana. Oramana try to spring Karpowicz, and there's Volpe in the way of it. Takes it away. Volpe gonna find his way through. Coco and now Caruso. Caruso trying to get around Honigman. And now Karpowicz. Argilla. Back to Ledzinski. The chess match rages on as we're over halfway through the third period. Shot off the stick of Spasato and wide. Argilla. KPC looking for that equalizing tally. Spasato has Coco fly by him and sends up to his right winger. And that was Jackson, the defenseman, actually. Here's Karpowicz dragging. Karpowicz to Caruso. Checked by Coco. Takes it away. Coco. Nice. Lead pass Argilla. Argilla takes the shot. Didn't get much on it. And making the save is Rudloff. He'll cover up, though, to freeze the action. 6:38 left here in the third period. 2-1. KPC and Northport Huntington. Jacobs. Left wing side, centered one. It's taken away by Buonacore. Point shot from Mezazalma is frozen by Rudloff. And now some Jacobs going at it. After the whistle there, looked like Sherwood was the other party involved. Jacobs being escorted to the box, as is Sherwood. There's definitely some negative energy, if you want to call it that, between these two sides that comes about every now and again after whistles, as we saw, or harken back to the reverse hit dished out by Delio. He'll just take both players off. Here's Ciafrone off the turnover, scores! Tie game! Just like that, Jackson Ciafrone! Off the face-off, it's going to come in behind. And that's no turnover, that's a pass, a great one at that. And Ciafrone buries it, short side blocker. Ties the game at 2. Pascal with the pass, Mezazalma getting an assist as well on Ciafrone's 6th of the year. It ties the game at 2 over halfway through the third period. Ledzinski, see if KPC get momentum. They have numbers up ice. Now it's Pascal, and he couldn't pull a trigger there. Back the other way, Caruso. Shot goes wide. That was Mezazalma. Another chance. Save made. Burke. Rebound is loose and scooped up by Volpe, who high flips to center. Pascal chasing it down. Rudloff out to play it. Ahead for Caruso. Caruso backhanding it on. Here's Karpowicz. Across, picked up by Caruso. Caruso on goal, save made. Burke, stick to the corner. KPC able to clear. The puck significantly slowed by the snow amassed in front of the bench area. Flipped on goal, and that's sealed off by Burke, who keeps things moving to Volpe. Volpe, Mealy there as well. Brown, and now Caruso prevails with the puck for Northport Huntington. Ripped wide, that time by Colin Jackson. Here is Brown for KPC. 2-on-2 over the blue with a back-checking Caruso. Caruso just trying to plunge it ahead. Stopped by Ebley along the near point. And away come the Tigers. 3-on-2 over the blue, and a nice play by Scott. Jack Scott with the play on defense for KPC. They're not out of the woods yet, though. Shear for, oh, what a save by Burke. Caruso did not get all the shot, but he got enough of it to direct it toward the goal, and Burke had to come across to make an outstanding save. So Oramaner's going to send it down the wall. It's a good passing play. And there it comes to Caruso, and getting across and getting the left toe on it. Great save made by Tyler Burke. Incoming the ensuing face-off. 4:05 left in the third. To the left of the aforementioned KPC netminder. Played ahead, Ledzinski. Buonacore blows a tire, 2-on-1. Spasato, what a great defensive play. Breaks up the 2-on-1. Coco lets it fly into the glove of Bowden Rudloff. Welcome to the booth, Kevin Broderick. Play-by-play for us. He's also done a couple of Adelphi games recently and various other sports there for Kevin. Chance here. Down low, they score! And KPC take the lead with 3:42 left in the third. On a goal scored by Drew Argilla. And it's another off a face-off. Creates a 2-on-1 down low and a beautiful backhand pass. Coco to Argilla, and Coco leaping into the arms of his teammate who has given KPC the lead. It's Argilla, his second of the season. 3-2 Knights. And Northport Huntington, who trailed 1-0, scored two quick ones in the second, had led it deep into the third, have now found themselves down a goal after protecting a lead for, as I mentioned, more than a period. Flipped on, and that will be wide of goaltender Rudloff and an icing against KPC. 3:08 left. Argilla from Coco. Coco the assist. Brings his point total up to 11, which matches his teammate, Max Ledzinski, who scored earlier in the game. Argilla assisted on that goal, so he has 2 points in the contest as well. Point shot from Jackson, hit off a couple of sticks, intercepted by Sherwood. Sherwood has it come off his stick, spun by Crispin. Crispin to Karpowicz, nice move. Karpowicz scores! We're tied at 3. Second of the game for Owen Karpowicz. Back and forth we go. And it's from a sharp angle. Karpowicz, couple of nice head fakes, good shoulder moves, and Razzle Dazzle picks a corner. So here we go, 3-3. We weren't. The lead for KPC didn't last very long, and we are tied up here, late stages, third period. A couple of late goals in this game. Oramon are going to pick up an assist on the Karpowicz snipe. Here's Jackson. Northport Huntington, they're hungry for more. Pushed around and fanned on by Crispin as I go by him. Mealy, 2-on-1 with Borzomato. Mealy left it behind him, and all that's there is the glove of Rudloff to freeze play with 2:13 left in the third. We're all squared up at 3, right here and only on LI Sports Network. Face off to the left of Rudloff, won by KPC. Wrist shot, Ledzinski caught the blocker of Rudloff and deflected over the top. Here's Caruso, 2-on-2 over the blue. Try to get around Volpe. He'll skate around Volpe. Catch back up with the puck. Centers one, and that's off the diving skates. The diving skates of Ledzinski. Picked up in the corner. Centering for Caruso. Off his stick, and Volpe first on it. Clears it out of the zone. Shear takes a check from Borzumato. Volpe maintains possession of the puck. In comes Volpe. Volpe lost the handle, and now Shear to Caruso. A minute 30 left. In comes JT Caruso. Lets it fly off the stick of Ledzinski and deflects out of play. With 90 seconds left in regulation time, we will play an overtime period of 5 minutes if needed. And if no goals scored, then the game will unfortunately end in a tie, and we have a timeout taken by Northport Huntington and a good chance to recap the game. But first, I want to first off thank you all for tuning in to LI Sports Network's coverage of Suffolk County High School Hockey League. Leave us a subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Subscribe, like on the video, whatever. And be sure to check out the latest podcast dropped by my two friends, Travis Quigley and Paul Trentini, produced by our very own Wally Mitchell as well, who is running our camera tonight, helping produce the game. Does so much for us behind the scenes. Great podcast. Released a 6th episode. Rinks and Realities is the name of it. And it features special guest Steven Rosner. Rosner played goal in the New York Islanders High School Hockey League. And then again, even more so on the roller side of things. Back to the game. It's been really a defensive game. Ledzinski opened the scoring late in the first, and 2 quick goals early in the second gave Northport Huntington the lead, scored by Oromaner and Karpowicz. And then a pair of quick ones from KPC, Ciafrone and Argilla, gave them the lead. Before Karpowicz, second tied, and Caruso just missed, and now a stoppage. Whoa, boy. They say the net was off its mooring, and it was ever so slightly off the mooring. So we'll do it again to the left of Tyler Burke. One forward by Walter. Here is Caruso. Dropped it for Ledzinski inadvertently, and quick breakout here for KPC. Good step up by Jackson, but here's Coco. Wrister glove save made by Rudloff. As that wrist shot had some real heat on it. Taken by Coco. Here's Coco, who's going to walk on in. And he's going to put all the cocoa into that one. Glove save made by Rudloff. Deflected out of the zone. Ledzinski tracks back to it in front of the snowy KPC bench. On goal for Rudloff, and Rudloff will seal it off. So face off in the Northport Huntington defensive end to the left of goaltender Bowden Rudloff. Taken by Coco, won by Coco, back to Ledzinski, and it's slowed down seemingly by the snow built up and accumulated in the crease there. There are no ice girls or boys, men or women that come out to clear up the ice. We're back to action. Not sure if it had enough juice on it anyway. Rudloff got a big chunk of it. Sheer across, Walter wide with the shot. Ledzinski content to just flip it near side. Jackson rips it forward. Volpe is there to cut it off. His pass intercepted. Sheer kicked it ahead, couldn't get it to his tape. And now Volpe back with it. And Volpe trying to stretch past it to Honigman. Hit a stick, but does get to Honigman. Now Argilla diving back to make a play. Karpowicz. And now the puck finds its way all the way in the upper deck, right next to our booth, and it's flung back out onto the ice. Kevin, did you see that puck? Oh, boy. There's a reason they have signs up all over the arena that read the same thing as beware of flying pucks, and the puck had wings on that one. Do we have another timeout here? I don't think either team has another timeout left. But they surely must, because both sides are at their benches here. A timeout seemingly has been called. It doesn't indicate to me which team has called the timeout, and I missed the official's ruling on which team did, so take your guess. What I do know is there are 14.9 seconds left. I'll round up to 15. Hard-fought game. Both teams are worthy of at least a point here tonight. And in 14.9 seconds, if nothing changes, that will be the case. Face off to the right of Rudloff. Coco to take it. He'll take it from Caruso. Puck is dropped. Coco trying to retrieve it after he lost the draw. Comes up to the left point for Ludzinski. Lets it fly wide with traffic out in front. Ludzinski hustling to it. Backhanding toward the goal. Caruso cuts it off. And we are headed to overtime. Tied up at 3 apiece. 3 third period goals. Helping us get to that point. All 3 in the back half of the third period in which they were scored.
That was a 180 back in the Royals a couple years doing this.
5 minutes up on the clock. 4-on-4 overtime. Starts right now. Will we have a winner? Both teams earn themselves a point. Ciafrone drops it. Mezzazoma, glove save made Rudloff, and he'll keep things moving. On for Buonocore. Buonocore to Caruso. Extra ice out there. See if it makes a difference. Caruso drags, fires over the net. Caruso trying to hunt down his rebound. Volpe in the way. Leveled in front. And Karpowicz nearly had his hat-trick goal, like an OT winner, but it missed. Karpowicz back on the puck here. Goes across with it. Glove down. Nice play by Jackson. Jackson, Karpowicz, beneath the goal line, goes Karpowicz, fires it out of the zone. I think he was trying to bank it off of someone in front there. I have to imagine that was the plan. Tigers resetting their own end. Play it on back, Buonocore. Cross to Jackson. Jackson, too far for Caruso, and becomes an icing on Northport Huntington. Oh, Northport Huntington. I'm able to make it. Pardon me, there's 4 minutes of overtime time, not 5. I'm convinced it was 5. I have my leagues mixed up. Streaking to the net, Buonocore. His stick lifted from behind by Volpe. Tigers bench wants a call. They're not going to get it. Karpowicz to Caruso. Sposato, wrist shot over the net. Karpowicz drops it for Buonocore. Now Caruso. Caruso save made. And now going down to the ice, an offensive zone penalty on Karpowicz, and he can't believe it. He's pleading with the official, but that pleading isn't going to get you much. And with 2:21 left in the overtime period, Kings Park Commack, the KPC Knights, will get a power play. They have scored all but one power play goal here tonight, and it came on a 5-on-3. Power play starts. Face off to the right of Rudloff, controlled by the Knights. Volpe and Mezzazoma, who walks. Near circle shot save. Rebound! They score! The OT winner scored by Max Ludzinski, who is swarmed by his teammates as KPC win it 4-3. In a scene out of the Battle of the Bastards on Game of Thrones, KPC are victorious. That and the Vincent Trocheck overtime winner for the Rangers during their run. I am sad. Thinking of the Rangers, but enough of the Rangers. How about the Knights? They win it 4-3 in overtime over the Northport Huntington Tigers on the power play. Ludzinski is second of the game in what was a fabulous display of Suffolk County High School hockey here tonight. Both teams get a point, 2 points for KPC. They move to 5-3. Northport Huntington on the season, they fall to 4-2-2. 2 now overtime losses, or pardon. Yes, 2 overtime losses. That'll do it for our coverage here tonight. Thank you so much for tuning into the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here on LI Sports Network. One more time, the game-winning goal from Max Ledzinski before we say goodbye, or the game-winning celebration. 4-3 KPC. Till next time, as always, have a good night.